Hey there, welcome back. Today, we're working on a project I picked up a while ago. This is a 1964 Allis Chalmers I-40 industrial loader tractor. Has a lot of issues, main one being the clutch is completely gone out of it. We're gonna split the tractor apart, get that replaced, find out what other damage there is, and try to get this thing going again. We're gonna take the loader off for better access to the engine and then get to unhooking everything else. Well, we got the loader unhooked. Lots of hydraulic oil everywhere. Now we're gonna start splitting the tractor in half.
How do you feel about running back and getting a pipe wrench?
Pretty shitty.
Would you do it all the same?
No.
We have snacks.
Yeah, we'll give you some fun games.
It depends.
Give me the divisive beating. It's like using a comic.
Persuader emotions.
Perfect. Just looks like there's a nut hole. Snaps into that too. I'll back that off.
In case you're wondering what's happening up here, the shearing line right here is a row of pain to get a socket on or a wrench on and actually take it off easily. We're back on another day here, taking the tractor apart because we didn't get it done last night. As you saw, we got the loader taken off. We've got the hydraulics unhooked up front. We got most of the stuff unhooked on the side, the coil and governor linkage, a couple more hoses to unhook down there. The carburetor is all unhooked and the air intake and the power steering lines underneath. So we've almost got the tractor ready to split and took the air filter out. And this is the condition of it. And air filter cap is full of dirt. All right, well, we got it split and the clutch is worn out. It's down to the rivets. You can see where it's been actually riding on them, and the pressure plate got pretty hot. It's discolored. Obviously it's had some leaks over the years. Thankfully the flywheel is still good. I can reuse that. And we haven't overly looked at the valves yet. The previous owner said he thought it had bad piston ring on one cylinder because it smokes, but one of these, which one was it? That one?
Yeah, well, we got some maladjusted valves.
Yeah, there's
that was loose. A couple of them are too tight.
Yeah, there's some slop and some valves that are too tight.
Yeah, I seem to remember him saying that it fouled the plugs on number one.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows if he was speaking correctly or not, but that'd be up here. So that would take more investigation. But
But yeah, it's a part. Parts are arriving in a couple days, so we'll get it
We might have some worn out parts down here. Obviously, we're gonna get a new throw-out bearing, but
put back together.
the sleeve, wherever that went, that goes
Yeah,
inside here.
It is in there.
It's in there right now. I can't get it out, but that's pretty badly worn. You can see how it's sagging here. I mean, obviously this shaft isn't being supported right now, but there does seem to be excessive wear.
But yeah, there's this sleeve for the throwout bearing, and it's pretty worn, and also it's cracked right there. So we probably will have to replace that.
Even when that sleeve is in place, I mean, there's a lot of up and down play in this whole bearing assembly. You know, which may or may not be a problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, when the parts get here, we'll get it put back together and film that. Well, the rear main seal is back on with a little RTV on the gasket. The gasket didn't tear, so there's no need to replace it. And the oil pump has a new gasket made for it. All right, so since the back of the engine is put together, we decided to go ahead and check our valve lash and notice some strange stuff with the rocker arm. Looks like at one point somebody broke one of the balls off the adjuster and it rode straight on the rocker arm with no ball, so ground down and bent over and welded there. And this one's just ground down and they stuck a new ball in it. Something we hadn't noticed at the time was that the back two rocker pedestals had actually been installed upside down on the engine when we took the rockers off. I'm assuming that's what caused the couple bent push rods near the back of the engine. We're not totally sure, but we figured that out later when we were reassembling the engine a few weeks later and doing our valve lash. It's still better than what the old one was. Yeah. Like even the most sloppy part going, you know, this way. That's what? A couple thou? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So today we are cutting the new female insert for the PTO splines on the flywheel for the Allis Chalmers. We have our custom-made tool holder here in the shaper with a custom cut M2 high-speed steel cutter ground to the shape of the 37.5 degree splines.
The cutter is a 45 degree because we're making these, that tooth profile right there. That's the tooth profile that we're cutting for. So we're gonna be making the splines in this internal spline is gonna be the gap between those splines there.
Yeah.
And so that is a 45 degree spline.
Yep.
The mating one is 75, I think, right? Yeah.
75. 37.5 base, 75 total.
You can see the quality of our other end here.
What's left of it.
We're gonna be remaking that too.
71 thou.
Yeah.
Okay, 71 thou depth of cut. Probably gonna do a thou or two at a time because the cutter and the tool holder are so small. We don't want to risk bending or breaking the cutter off.
We've never done any of this before, so
Yeah,
forgive us.
Yeah, we're doing this all from our pretty basic knowledge of machining practices.
So here we go. Yeah.
So, this, can I have the light? You can see it. Maybe. Maybe not. You can kind of see it. So that's what we're cutting in there, if you can see it down there at the end. Those are the splines.
Of course, no, it's not gonna go on that way.
It won't go on now.
Yeah, what the?
Awkward.
Cut the camera! Cut the camera! I can't be seen like this.
Put on the other way.
Try to go on that way. Yeah, it goes on that way well enough.
Yeah.
This is all gonna get cut off here. Just gonna have this thick section. Yeah, it's a little tight, but better tight than loose.
It broke the flywheels.
Oh shit.
Oh, god damn it.
No, it popped because it let loose.
Oh, hold on. Lift it up. A little bit more. It's good enough. Just hit it. Stop.
Are we in?
Let's hit it now. Just one good hit. Yeah, we can do that. And that's still, yeah, we're still beyond it here, so that's all machinable now. So we're still above it here, which is what we want because we're going to machine that down to where we need it to be. And on the back here, our bevel is flush with the face, which is also what we want because we can machine that flush.
Yep.
And it looks, I'll go get a square, but that looks pretty good to me.
Anymore. Overall, we machined a new bushing for the center of the flywheel with a new pilot bushing and female spline coupler, a new PTO shaft from 4140 chromoly steel. We machined a new throwout bearing tube, along with repairing the arm with a new pin for it, and replaced the tie rods on the front of the tractor with hind joints because you can't buy the original ones anymore. It was around this point we realized we needed to do something else to get the transmission mated back to the engine. The PTO shaft and main shaft were not lining up with the flywheel. We ended up taking the PTO shaft out of the rear differential and installing it in the flywheel first.
No, minus one's
Okay, you ready?
Minus one's Japanese.
Here we go.
I guess that valve is open circuit.
Yeah, or it's just leaking really bad.
Well, it runs.
Good God.
Get it on video?
Geysers out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit, they're both actually falling off.
Yeah, we got water in there again, I think. I think it's completely full of water.
There's so much metal on these drain plugs.
Yeah, I'm not very much surprised with the way it was sounding, you know. It was low, I mean, I drained quickly. I don't think there's very much in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3.5 gallons total.
Yeah.
Last clip, you probably saw us getting the tractor running, driving, and we drove it over here. However, once the tractor gets hot, it starts smoking a ton, burning a whole bunch of oil. And since I rewired the entire tractor yesterday with some new gauges, it doesn't make very good oil pressure. The one thing I found out so far is that the oil filter that I cross-referenced off of, that was on the tractor when I got it, was wrong. It was both the wrong thread pitch and actually the wrong filter design. Still threaded on somehow, but it was incorrect. I found the correct one, got a new one. I have to reseal the valve cover because it's leaking. The gasket on this side is moved inward. I need to glue it to the cover before I stick it on there and clean the side of the engine off. And I'm changing the oil because I put 10W40 in it. It seems a little thin. I'm gonna try some straight 30 with the correct filter. Plus this engine got some water in it while it was sitting, so the oil that was in there was kind of gloopy and more of just for a flush. So I'm gonna get this all sealed up, probably hook up a tachometer and look at the governor, see if I can adjust that a little, and possibly do some adjustment on the carb with the vacuum gauge. Yeah, we had a bunch of issues getting the tractor running after it was back together. The ignition coil that was on it was both wired backwards. It was wired for positive ground because that's what this tractor was originally, but it's been converted to negative. The coil was still wired for positive though. It was also really weak. Also, well, the carburetor was on the tractor sitting for a couple weeks, somehow got some water in it, some moisture, and clogged up the main jet and the emulsion tube. So I had to clean that back out, but it runs pretty good now. Runs really good actually, just smokes a lot. Hopefully we'll maybe find out what that is. So when I took this apart, this rocker pedestal, if you can see it, it's cracked, so the washer's holding it together. And then the back two rocker pedestals over here were actually flipped upside down. And we're pretty sure that's how two push rods got bent. And this rocker arm and this rocker arm got damaged. We think the adjustment ball broke off at one point and it was just riding on the push rod. But anyways, these two pedestals are upside down and they're about 70 thousandths of an inch shorter on the top than the bottom. So it was just crushing the valves and possibly keeping them open. We think there's some valve damage due to that happening. It's all in adjustment now. It actually doesn't make any noise, but that was something we noticed aside from the bent push rods, the two bent push rods. Not cool. I don't see oil just pouring out of the door cover though, which is an accomplishment. An accomplishment is I don't even see any oil pressure in that line. So you may be wondering what's left to fix. Well, there's quite a lot. The governor assembly is completely gutted out of the tractor. That's why it revs up too high. The engine also needs a complete overhaul. Low compression, low oil pressure due to bad main bearings, and damaged valve seats in the cylinder head. The front axle needs a complete rebuild. It's got cracked frame, bad kingpins, and really bad wheel bearings on both sides. All that and more will be in the next upcoming video.